From the author of Spinsterella, A Strange and Unusual Romance comes Spellbound, a darker shade of black. Get Spellbound this Halloween in paperback and ebook at online booksellers everywhere. When does a website begin its decline as a business? Now, that's a question a lot of people would like to have the answer to, especially a lot of investors and a lot of business people. And when I look at a lot of websites and their eventual decline, they all followed a similar pattern. Now, when your website first starts out, it gets a word of mouth, it builds an audience. And then as that audience starts to build up, then the stock price goes up. And then what happens that causes the decline usually is that what happens is the website starts trying to control content. And they start trying to control content because they hear views from people who usually say they use the website, such as your feminists, your liberals, your social justice warriors, and they try to censor the content. Unfortunately, what's bringing people to the website is the content. And what happens is, once they remove the content, the site starts to slowly decline. And I've seen this cycle happen to many websites, such as your AOL, your Yahoo, your i1.com, your MySpace. And I'm seeing this same cycle begin its process with YouTube and Facebook right now. Now, YouTube and Facebook are at their peak stage, and what they're trying to do is trying to bring advertisers in so that they can have a steady stream of revenue. Unfortunately, the same gremlins which pretty much destroyed the websites I mentioned before are beginning to manifest themselves yet again. And because they want to control the content to appease and please groups like your liberals, your feminists, your social justice warriors, and many of these other factions, what happens is they wind up censoring the content, and then the site starts its slow decline because people are coming to the World Wide Web and the information superhighway for information. And they come to these sites looking for information. They come to social media to share information with others. And then when they see these people being pushed off by false flagging campaigns and Facebook jail, what happens is they stop using the website and the website starts to decline. And meanwhile, these same people are here arguing with people, trolling people's pages, trolling people's channels, and making the place a hostile environment to come to. Again, driving away content people, content, not only content providers, but viewers as well. Because when you look at pages like your AOL and Yahoo back from about 2008 to about recently, when they had comment sections, what would happen is you would get people in there who would want to argue, people getting personal, people making ad hominem attacks. And that was one of the reasons why I stopped using Yahoo, because that was my homepage from about 2000 to about 2008. But when I would read articles and then you would go down to the comment section, it'd be nothing but arguing. And then it would get so bad, especially after President Obama got elected, that the site became virtually unusable. Same thing with AOL. You go to their comment section and it was just nothing but arguing. The trolls and the feminists and social justice warriors had literally taken the entire comment section over and turned it into a war zone. And even I can talk about another website, IMDb, same thing. Just they take over a website and they drive away the intelligent people. They drive away the artists. They drive away any sort of intelligent person. And because those people feel like they're not in a safe environment, they walk away from that website. And then the website starts to decline because users don't want to go to a website where it's a hostile environment. And I've noticed this pattern with many websites, and that's why their trajectory starts that decline. And that's why people simply stop using the website. Unfortunately, most business managers at places like your Google or many of these other companies just have not figured out the pattern regarding what's causing their business to decline and why they wind up with users winding up leaving. But they wind up leaving because it becomes a hostile environment, because some people just can't stand hearing different opinions, different viewpoints, different ideas, and that's really escalated over the last couple of years. That's how I can say the internet has changed, because people used to be able to sit there and listen to different viewpoints, different opinions, and different ideas. But these days, with the advent of the smartphone and the, as I believe, a rise in the increase of women using the internet and poor people using the internet, we're seeing a lot more people who just can't stand hearing different viewpoints and different opinions, because this wasn't the way in the early 2000s. This is why a lot of internet websites could flourish, because people had a bit more open minds as it related to websites. If they saw different viewpoints, they understood there was different viewpoints. But these days, people see different viewpoints, and they want to, in the case of social media, want to flag videos and have them deleted, or they want to try to have things reported on Facebook and put people in Facebook jail. And the sad part is that the business managers are supporting these types of people and their narrow-minded viewpoints on the World Wide Web, not understanding that this is the World Wide Web and that you're going to see a world of views from different people. And what you can do in the case, again, you have choices. You don't have to censor another person's content. You can just either unfriend the person if you're on Facebook, or just click on the red X if you're on a place like a YouTube. Unfortunately, people can't do that. What they will do, again, is try to flood your comment section, try to start arguments, try to start drama. And again, this is the type of stuff, if it's not moderated, like I've seen many other toy collecting websites do, is that they'll moderate these type of comments and delete them, and then even block the person. What happens is that no one lets a lot of websites let this stuff get out of control, and they let these people, like again, these feminists, these social justice warriors, and many of these other individuals take over the website and hijack it. And then sooner or later, all the content providers, again, are pushed off the website, and then the website, again, starts its decline. And once it starts to decline, and once the word of mouth gets out that they're trying to control, the executives are trying to control the content, and it starts, again, a serious decline, and then the website's value starts to drop. And a lot of people, when they look at your YouTube and your Facebook right now, they're not seeing how this website is, again, starting a slow trajectory towards its decline, because you have Google trying to bring advertisers in and trying to soften and trying to change content to please people, and then also trying to change content to please those angry groups such as your feminists and your social justice warriors and many of these other people who, again, are not really content producers, but are just watchers who are upset because they're seeing viewpoints that they don't like, ideas they don't like, and things that they disagree with. And then what happens is you try to please those people, and then when you take that content off, these people leave, because what they do is they'll say, oh, there's nothing on here. And what it really is that these are codependent people who are looking for something to complain about so that they can make themselves out to be a victim. So trying to please them is just an exercise in futility, because they're never going to be happy. They're never going to be satisfied. They're looking to be a victim. They're looking for something to complain about. And once they find something to complain about is not there anymore, then they don't want to use the website. So the executives who try to please these people wind up in a no-win situation, because in order to drive a website, you need content, and content, again, is king on the World Wide Web. And because you pushed all the content off your website, now you have nothing on there except basically dog videos and cat videos and children singing and, somebody's recital. And that's appeasing to one or two people, but it doesn't allow you to build an audience that those advertisers you're trying to please and appease will be able to build anything on. Because what drives a website, again, is that content that gets people thinking, gets people talking, and gets people to, really pay attention to something. If they don't see any good content on a website, they have no incentive to go visit that website. And that's why, many of these major websites like your Yahoo and your AOL and your Huffington Post and many others fell into a big decline, because they started producing content that would please and appease, the general masses and the investors, but they didn't produce the content that people came to that website originally for. Because when people come to a place like a YouTube or a Facebook, they're coming for content that they can't get in a mainstream area. They're coming for content that's very specific. They're coming to learn. And when I go to the internet, I go looking to learn. And this is one of the big problems with the modern day internet as I see it is that it's not a place that you can really learn anything anymore. It used to be you could come here and you could really learn about a subject in depth because people who were passionate about a subject would make pages about it, they would make videos about it, and they would make content that would help people learn. But these days, you have these sites trying to control the content and trying to make it where there's this fluffy, shallow content. But the whole thing is that fluffy, shallow content, I can get that on television, I can get that on Netflix. I can't come to YouTube or Facebook or any sort of social media for content that I can't get anyplace else. And that's the whole point of an information superhighway, is that you come there for information. You don't come there for entertainment. And that's the big conflict in today's internet these days, is that people are trying to turn it into entertainment, but you have entertainment. That's called television. That's movies. People come to the internet primarily for information, and information they can't get anyplace else. Yes, there are corners of the internet that are entertaining, like the pornography industry and other parts of other parts of the media, like art and film, small independent film, but they don't primarily come there for that. They come primarily for information. The reason why they watch a lot of videos is for information that will educate them, not entertain them. And this is the big problem. They want the advertisers to come in for the entertainment aspects, but again, entertainment content, after a while, it becomes somewhat repetitive and boring, just like these cat videos become repetitive and boring over time, and then people, again, don't want to come to the site because, again, that's not what they're primarily coming there for. They come to the internet for information, and when these websites try to appeal to people with something that it wasn't made for, what happens is, again, their website starts that decline, and unfortunately, many executives at places like your Google or your Facebook aren't looking at that situation and seeing that, you have to create content that people are want there, and you have to not try to alienate content providers, because the content provider is the one that's bringing the traffic to your site. And when you try to push them off to appease small factions that wouldn't be watching in the first place if the content wasn't there, what happens is you wind up cutting off your nose to spite your face. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.